Ladies and gentlemen, around 3.6 billion people are highly vulnerable to the impacts of climate change. And if we let global temperature rise reach 1.5 degrees or beyond, it will cause unavoidable increases in multiple climate hazards. We desperately need decisive action. We need to continue our work to mitigate the climate crisis so that we still avoid the worst consequences. And we need to step up our adaptation efforts to prepare for what is already unavoidable. With the European Green Deal, the EU is working to cut net emissions by at least 55% by 2030 and be climate neutral by 2050. The legislation to deliver these targets is on the table, and we hope to have it adopted later this year. Outside the EU, we're offering various means of support to our partner countries for their green transitions. In 2020 alone, the EU and its member states committed more than 23 billion euros in climate finance. We are consistently calling on other donors to follow suit. Looking ahead, for the period between 2021 and 2027, 28 billion euros of the central EU budget will be allocated to climate action objectives in our partner countries. But the scale of the challenge requires further action. The EU is ready to accompany its partners in their recovery efforts in a socially, environmentally, and financially sustainable way. That is what Global Gateway is all about. It's our new framework for international partnerships and investments. By 2027, we aim to mobilize 300 billion euros. Its design enables us to scale up previous commitments and better meet the needs of local communities. The Gateway will help to deliver much-needed hard infrastructure and provide softer assistance to help attract sustainable investment. As such, Global Gateway will enable the EU and its partners to channel investments where infrastructure gaps have been exposed or exacerbated. Similarly, at the launch of the Africa-EU Global Gateway investment package this February, the EU put forward a number of initiatives. One of these is the Africa-EU Climate Resilience Initiative. It will support disaster risk reduction and climate change adaptation, enhance disaster preparedness. It will also contribute to recovery, rehabilitation, and reconstruction efforts, while strengthening governance to manage disaster risk. Let's also remember that investing in nature-based infrastructures, like strategically planned and managed networks of natural lands, water, and soil, can provide cost-effective and resilient complements to existing infrastructure. Such nature-based solutions help us adapt to climate change, but also give nature space to flourish again. The EU will therefore continue to support initiatives like the Great Green Wall, launched by the African Union to restore the continent's landscapes. Ladies and gentlemen, the examples I provided just now underline that we need strong partnerships to address the climate crisis with infrastructure that is clean, resilient, and consistent with a net zero future. The Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure is a key partnership in this regard. For many partner countries, disaster resilience is already an existential and fundamental issue. I want to commend the Coalition for having created the Infrastructure for Resilient Island States facility, and I'm pleased to announce that the EU will contribute 5 million euros to this facility. We very much welcome the possibility to work with India and the Coalition. Disaster risk resilience is a common challenge for all South Asian countries, and you're key promoters in the region to enhance disaster recovery plans. Digitalization can also provide an important contribution to the fight against the climate crisis. Copernicus, the EU's Earth observation program, can offer valuable insights to our partners to improve resilience to natural hazards, as it has done through our hub in the Philippines. Initiatives such as this one go hand in hand with the EU's humanitarian assistance. Through our humanitarian aid, the EU allocates 76 million euros each year for disaster preparedness. It provides support for training for search and rescue, establishing early warning systems, developing contingency plans, and stockpiling equipment and supplies. Each of these actions play an important role in building the resilience of communities. Later this year, The international community will meet in Kunming for the Biodiversity COP15 and in Sharm el-Sheikh for COP27. We need to be ambitious. After all, the fight against the climate and biodiversity crises is a fight for our survival and for our common future. Each and every country is already affected, and some of us are literally fighting for their survival. Strengthening the disaster and climate resilience of the most vulnerable is, therefore, of the utmost importance. So, I wish you productive discussions over the coming days, and I thank you for the opportunity to speak to you all today.